Hello YouTube, welcome to Ohio CO2 Shooter. Today we're going to take a look at the GameFace Stinger P311 6mm airsoft spring-powered pistol. It's a 1911 replica. I picked it up at a local Dunham store. Price was $24.99. Low price, it says. So we'll take a look at if I overspent or not. Claimed FPS is 325 feet per second. The box is very well illustrated for a gun of this price range, considering that some things that you buy that are like $100 that just come in a clear plastic clamshell. I always prefer a box over a clamshell. That way, you can just put it back in the box and store it on the shelf. It actually looks nice. It's an all plastic design. Dropout magazine, 12 rounds. Has very few features for a spring pistol. Let's take it out of the box and have a look at it. Just get the pistol and a plastic bag with the instructions manual. Comes in 2 languages, looks like French and English. Information on front and back. It's entirely made of plastic, like I mentioned before. Has all your trade markings imprinted on it. Made in China. Fixed, unadjustable front and rear sights. No white dots. Pretty much everything's molded on it, except for the manual safety, which works. Slide catch is molded into it. All your pins, the front, it's all molded. It's all plastic. Magazine release. Does have a dropout magazine, which holds 12 rounds. Very light, very thin. The faller gets pulled down and it locks in place. This button gets pushed to release it. Hold that down to load the BBs. It's single stroke. Pull back the slide to cock it for each shot. Does have a working hammer. The hammer does nothing to fire the gun. It's just for show. The grips have nice texture and it feels really good in the hands. Let's load it up with some BBs and do some shooting. First, we'll try these Walther Rand 0.12 gram 6mm BBs. Only paid $4.99 for them. And then we'll shoot some of these 0.20 gram Elite Force 6mm BBs. I believe these are made by Elite Force's Uberx brand. We'll load up some of each and see how well they shoot. Then you slide this follower down and lock it into place. And then you'll hold this little button down and insert each BB. The magazine holds 12 rounds. Once you have it loaded, you got to be careful, because if you release the follower, and to bump that little button, they'll just go everywhere, which I've learned from experience. I'll show you. This can happen when you insert the magazine into the gun if you bump that little button while inserting it. Sitting up like this and you accidentally bump that, they'll be all over your room. We'll just be shooting at a paper target today. I have it set at about 6 yards, 6 to 7 yards. That's about how much room I have in my basement. I just have this piece of paper taped on the front of a box with a mesh net in the back to catch the BBs. Just a free hanging sheet of paper. Like I mentioned before, while inserting the magazine, if you accidentally bump that little button while inserting it, BBs will be launched up into the magazine well and will cause a jam. Just pulling the hammer back with your thumb does not recock it. You must recock after each shot by pulling the slide back each time. One of the best things that I love about air gunning with airsoft, CO2 BB pistols, etc., is that all the different kinds of targets and things that we come up with to shoot at in our basements or wherever you have to be able to shoot. like I mentioned before, I have about 6 to 7 yards between me and the target. If you're practicing any type of concealed carry engagements, etc., exactly, how much distance do you have between you and the individual who is threatening you? At what distances are most of the engagements? Especially when you're indoors, where it's already close quarters. But we're just shooting for fun today, so it doesn't matter. Jump ahead to about 10:58. That's when I start the shooting. The first 3 shots, my aim was right below the orange target dot. I had that setting on top of the front blade. These next shots, I was aiming right below at the edge of the bottom part of the paper. And then I moved up to just below the bottom part of the circle. So it's clearly shooting high with the .12 gram BBs. Some of the .20 gram BBs. Fast forward if you want to skip this part. Apologize for boring anyone. Aim will be just below the orange circle target. Flyer. 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 Very high. Accuracy is what it is for a spring gun of this price range. Let's try some beer cans and see if we get any penetration. Doubt that we will. Has some knockdown power for empty beer cans. Hit both cans at the very top, so there was a very minor dent. So let's try a little lower. Shooting high. So let's try again. It's definitely not the most accurate gun, although you might have better results, like during a skirmish, shooting at larger targets such as bodies. It has enough power to knock down the cans. I never got anything to penetrate, which is good, I guess. You can reuse the cans. You don't have to worry about sharp edges, especially when you're shooting with your children. My daughter loves to shoot with me. These shots were taken from 1 yard, just to see if I could get any penetration, which I didn't. Just a couple nice dents, and that's it. So we can reuse these again later. So there you have it, the GameFace Stinger P311, 1911 replica. Priced at $24.99 US. Did I overpay? Was it worth it? You can decide. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.